Beautiful people, let's get into some book series I read this year. Listen, okay, can I get this hoop series out? Because I know I read it. Okay, I need you to move out the way. All right, so we're going to pull this one out and let's see. I know I read some more series. Let's look and we're going to get into it. Okay, let's go. Beautiful people, we are back at it. If you're new here, I'm Darnaya, Darice, first name, middle name. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking about book series. We're talking about all of the book series I've read so far this year, and it's going to be 6. I'm going to try to be quick. But you know how that goes, okay? And then there's a few that I'm going to highlight that I have started. They're like book ones or haven't started yet, and then they're continuing into 2026. And I'm going to rank them from least to greatest. So we're going to start with my least favorite series to my most favorite series I have read so far this year. But before I get into that, I just want to say thank you to a few booktubers. First, Raquel, Miss Rocks Reading, thank you so much for mentioning me in your video. I appreciate you. I love your content. Keep pushing, keep rising, keep going, stay inspired. Also, favorite reader, if you don't follow her, go follow my girl. She's on Instagram. She's also on YouTube. She has reviewed my Words of a Shattered Mind poetry collection, and I was so nervous, but I was like, thank you. I appreciate you for reading. It is a poetry collection that I wrote years ago. I first wrote it in 2013, then I republished it with some edits. But it is a collection that is most vulnerable of what I was going through, where my mind was in my young 20s, dealing with what I've seen, what I've personally experienced, and what others have experienced, and how that affected me. And so this poetry collection is very easy to read. It's a quick read. You can really read it in one setting. You could probably get it done in an hour or less, and it's more to be reflective, and it's just my general raw opinion. So if you want to get that, it is on Amazon. But I appreciate her so much for reviewing that for me. It's so many awesome, great booktubers, y'all. So go support everyone. I mean, it from small to big. I love watching you all in between breaks, in between my lunches, in the evenings, catching up. I love everyone's content. It's so refreshing to see everyone's perspectives, what we're reading, the differences we're reading, the same books that we're reading, and just hearing your viewpoints. I love hearing everyone talk about the new worlds they're jumping into. Okay, so anyway, so keep everyone stay encouraged if you are creating content. If you're not creating content, stay encouraged just in your everyday life. And my lighting went somewhere. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. All right. Just stay encouraged in your everyday life. Keep pushing one step at a time. All right, with that being said, let's get into the series. My least favorite series I read so far this year, unfortunately, is the Housemaid series. It is. Okay. Now, let me give it book one. I think I rated 4 stars. I believe when I first read it earlier this year, The Housemaid, it was pretty good, but it didn't, I was expecting more. Okay, I did read First Never Lie by Frida McFadden before this, and what I found with her books, that I love her books for palate cleansers. I'm not looking for anything like deep, reflective, high themes coming out. I'm looking for fun, fast, thrill, easy to read, and it's another story to jump into, another crazy world and see what twist she doing, okay? But this was pretty good. It follows Millie, and Millie was interesting. I saw the preview of the adaptation they're doing for it. Did y'all see the movie preview? And I'm like, that room that they have for Millie is too nice, okay? Because Millie room right in here, it did not look like that. So what room are they getting? Because the room is too big. The room should be smaller. It's supposed to be a little more dingy. It's too put together. But anyway, I digress. Okay, and then I read The House. Oh, no. I read book 2. Girl, get the books there. Y'all. Don't try me today. Don't do me today. All right. So, The Housemaid Secrets. I got it upside down, y'all. The Housemaid Secrets this was the second one, and the housemaid is watching. I didn't read the mini novella that's in between these because I was like, it wasn't even necessary based on the reviews that I was reading, and it just got worse. Okay, this was okay, and this was okay. It's not I would still read these series, but I would say these two, book 2 and 3, weren't necessary. Book 1 was my favorite out of that one. And I may see the movie. I don't know. We'll see. Next series I read that was pretty good. It's not my most favorite, but it's a little bit, I enjoyed it a little bit more than the Housemaid series. This is Lauren Nosset. This is the Marlet, Detective Marlet series. The first book in this one is The Resemblance by Lauren Nosset, and the second one is The Professor. Now, these can be read as standalones, but it is a book series, okay? I've seen people with this book, but not this one, okay? I need somebody to go read this one. Tell me what you think about it. This is following a detective who investigates things that are happening on a college campus in Georgia, and it's kind of following her investigating the story. So this one's a little slower than this one. I think you will enjoy book 2 more than book 1. You don't necessarily have to read again book 1 to understand what's going on, because she kind of reiterates at the beginning where they are, where this one left off going into this one. So this one is a little bit juicier because it also has Detective Marlet's mother in it. Her mother is a professor on the campus, and the mother's friend is who this book is about, her colleague, one of her colleagues. So it's slow, but it's one of those you have to enjoy, like detective mystery investigation type of things, right? If you enjoy those books, this will be good for you. Now, my next favorite series, which I did enjoy, was my first Christina Forrest series that I've read, and that's The Neighbor Favorite. This is the Green Sister series. This was my favorite. The Partner's Plot was my least favorite, and then I did enjoy the love lyric. What I enjoyed about the love lyric was that it took time with the love interest Angel and Iris in here, right? Because in books 1 and 2, Angel has met Iris, and he's a singer. Her sister is his stylist, and he likes her for a long time before actually getting with her, but she has went through something tragic in her marriage to where her husband is no longer here, or no longer with her alive. And so, it takes her some time to open up to Angel and to want to date. But, so it was cute. This one, I was like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? It was fun. It was okay. But it was like, what are we doing? Okay. I know that's basic, but a lot of you already read that series. Then my next favorite is the Curve series. Have you read Danielle Allen? She's a new author to me this year. I just read both of these this summer. You have book 1, Curvy Girl Summer, and book 2, Plus Size Player. The covers, love it. Now, there is a book 3, Big Girl Blitz. I may put it on screen. I may not. We'll see. But Big Girl Bliss is supposed to come out sometime in 2026 in the spring era. So I do want to finish this series. I'm excited about this series. This one was my favorite. You're following Aaliyah, and I believe his name was Ahmad. Yeah. You're following Aaliyah and Ahmad here. And what I do like about the main character in this book, she was a doctor. So she's educated, but she's helping her sister out with her wedding. And it just so happened, no, she's not. Why am I mixing stuff? Why am I mixing stories? Aaliyah is about to turn 30. And so before her birthday, she kind of wants to find that one solid relationship and really stick to it, because before then she's been dating, but it hasn't worked out. Now, Danielle, I will tell you, she starts the book off strong. So if you have an issue with spice, you're gonna have to check your spice issue at the door, okay? Because she's gonna jump right in there, okay? And it's gonna be blatant and clear. But it's really good series following her. She goes on a series of dates at a bar, and each of them don't really, there's an issue with each one of them. So go ahead and read this. Don't want to give you too much. Plus size player, you're following her friend. Okay, so Aaliyah and Nina, this is Nina, are friends. And Nina, she's like openly dating, if you will. She hasn't settled down yet, but there's out of the people or the men she's dating, she has one that eventually kind of steps up and be like, oh, he may be the one. She's kind of still on the fence, like, oh, should I settle down with him or should I not? This was pretty good, but it was still like, Lena, what are you doing? Okay. All right. So my husband came in, so I had paused. And we're gonna continue. Okay. The next series, the Hoop series. Okay. The Hoop series. I hoop. All right. I don't know if you hear me. HOOP. Okay. Because some people are like, I don't know what this series is called. It's the Hoop series. Okay. Now, obviously, if you think of Hoop, it is an athletic series. So you're dealing with athletes as the main love interest or in that world. Okay. So book 1, you have long shot. Then you have block shot. Book 2, and then hook shot. I'm going to let you know, I did not like Block Shot. All of these books in this series are, again, standalones. You don't really have to read them in order to get what's going on. You can read it 3, 2, then 1, or vice versa. But I enjoyed reading it in its proper format because you kind of get that timeline. But reading it backwards, you can get it too, just in reverse. But Block Shot was my least favorite. This one ended up following a guy named Jared, and I can't remember, in Banner. Jared and Banner's story I didn't like. If you read Block Shot, let me know if you feel the same. I felt like Jared was too pushy. Jared was very pushy. He didn't respect Banner's boundaries. Banner was already in a relationship later on after their little thing in college with an athlete who was so nice, who was loving to her, who was well off. She was his kind of manager type of thing. And then Jared decides to come along like, oh, I really want to be with Banner. And she kept saying no. She kept trying to push it off, and he kept pressing. I didn't like this one. But it's still well written. We know it's Kennedy, okay? It's still good, but it was not my favorite. Now, Banner, at some point in the book, she does give a speech. It's like this women empowerment speech because she's in a role that's dominated by males. I really enjoyed that. So if you read this and if you know what speech I'm talking about when she gives it, let me know because I did enjoy that. Now, my most favorite out of these two was actually Hookshot. I gave this one 5 stars. This follows Kenan and Lotus story. Book 1, Long Shot, follows, I think her name is Iris too. Iris Dupree and August West. What's up with Iris? Like, that's a common name in these romances, but Iris is the cousin of Lotus in this, okay? And this one is heavy on DV, okay? It is heavy, it is raw. It was an excellent story, but it was hard to read. I wanted to punch, not August, but the guy she was initially with. It was like, girl, don't go back to this one. But I love in Long Shot how Kennedy addresses the complexities, the variables, the nuances into women or even men or those in general who is dealing with that issue. She addresses that it's not just easy as get up and go, right? That she highlights different responses of each of the different ladies that are dealing with that, which if you read, you'll see that played out, and their responses to each other that are still dealing with the same thing. And you get the understanding that it's not just black and white. There's so many variables and nuances that goes into leaving someone or getting away from harm. I love that. So it was well written, but this one, I did enjoy the most out of this series, and I enjoyed it the most because it followed Keenan and Lotus. Now, Keenan was also on the same basketball team as August in book one, but Keenan's on the retiring end. Okay, he's that older veteran player who's very good. They look to him as the leader, and he's in that midst of retiring, but he's dealt with a divorce and one where he actually wants to be a father in his child's life, but the mother is acting crazy. The mother's acting like the Real Housewives or something. She's acting like a reality TV little gal who just, keeps pressing him, making it hard for him to see his child. And then he knows Lotus. He's known Lotus since book one, but again, it took some time for him to actually muster up and actually pursue Lotus. And so I love the care they took in this. Even Lotus, you go through her story and her from childhood to now, what she's dealing with, her issues that unfortunately many women, especially women of color, that has to go through and has to keep it inside, the issues with her mother. Like, this was just so well done. The romance was so well done. The lead up to it from the whole series was so well done. That's my favorite book. Now, we almost done, y'all. Okay, we almost done. Stay with me. Stay with me. Purple heart in the chat if you're still with me at this point. Now, my favorite series for this year so far, hands down, is Skyland series. Okay, now most of these are romances. I gave you a thriller mystery in there, but most of these series are romances. But this is my favorite. Okay, before I let go, these covers are just amazing, exquisite. Okay, This Could Be Us is book 2, and y'all know Can't Get Enough came out this year. Many people were up and down with Can't Get Enough, but overall, I would say this Skyland series was so well written. You're touching on so many different topics as it pertains to friends, as it pertains to us as women, how we deal with relationships, breakups, how we're dealing with divorce and having kids, how we're dealing with being entrepreneurs and business women while we're navigating all the issues, miscarriages, or not even miscarriages, and you're dealing with so much in this series. Your loved ones, your parents that's dealing with a life-ending, altering illness. Ultimately, it was so well done. Now, at first, I felt like this was good, this was a little bit better, and this was very good. But I would say if this series is so good, when I look back and ponder over it, I could rate this one 4.75, 4.5 for the second, 4.25, or vice versa. Now this one, I would say I wanted more for Hendrix. Drop in the chat if you wanted more. Hashtag more. We wanted more for Hendrix, or hashtag more for Hendrix. I don't know what we got to do. Can we rewrite Hendrix's story? Okay, because she deserved a love interest of her own. She stood on business. She was an awesome friend. She was an awesome auntie friend to her friends' children. I was hoping that Hendrix's story, I thought it was going to be the best out of the whole series. But it was still a great story, still good topics that she put in here. I didn't mind reading it, but I was hoping for more. Now, This Could Be Us, parts of it was long. Soledad was getting on my nerves at some point. I was like, Soledad, girl, just go ahead with the boy. Like, I think, what is it, Judah? Is this Judah? I think she was the one with Judah. I'm like, come on, Judah. You know you gonna end up dating them. Why you take, like, she was just pressing. And so I'm like, you could have cut this 50 pages because Soledad was playing games, okay? Before I Let Go was sweet. I love Josiah. He was just a stand-up guy, stand-up husband. And it was just unfortunate of the miscommunication, if you will, the misunderstandings of what happened. But they ultimately got it together. I do recommend reading that one out of all of them. Now, we're about to wrap up this video. So I have 3 books here. Now these, I'm holding up all the fingers. 3 books here. These books are either ones that I started and waiting on the next book in the series, or I haven't started. So the first one is by Brittany Cherry, which is a new author to me. Bookmark by Leah put me on to Brittany Cherry early this year. Okay, and this is book one, the air he breathes. I haven't read this one, but this is part of the Element series. I've heard this series can be, you just gotta stick with it because it can be up and down based on reviews. So I'm not in a rush to read it, but I do eventually want to get into it. But I did hear that it's kind of, it's just kind of lifetime series. You know how Brittany Cherry, I read If You Stayed, I enjoyed it, but it is kind of lifetimey. But and then I read the mixtape, I didn't enjoy that one. So I want to get to the series, but it just may be pushed to 2026. Now, the next one, the Forever Fallen series. Who remembers that this is going to be a series? Okay, only for a week, by Natasha Bishop. Book 2 is supposed to come out April 14th, I believe, of 2026. So it's coming up along with the others, and that book I will put somewhere on the screen. It is The Art of Falling, and so I'm excited to continue that this series as well. This again, spice, okay? It's very spicy, but it's still a good underlying story. It's not the best, it's not my most favorite work, but it's still good, especially if you want just a palate cleanser, something light, something fun, something funny, something like, oh girl, let's talk about it. That's Natasha, okay? Now this, I rated real 5 stars. This is going to be part of a series. I believe she's calling it the Hollywood series. I don't know. I have to double check that. But Score comes out, y'all. Monk and Verity story comes out next year as well, next spring. So we're getting a lot of books next spring. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'm so excited for that. This was such a well-written story about Neva. This follows Neva Saint. She's an up-and-coming actress, and I love that in this book she includes the actor. Neva is playing an actor called Desi Blue, and Desi Blue's story is infused within her story as she's acting it out, and I thought that was brilliant. I love those chapters about Desi Blue as well, because she was interested, and Desi Blue can have her own book, okay? She can have her own story as well. But I love that this is a series, and I'm excited to read Score. But this was so well written, so genuine. I loved it. Let me know in the chat if you read any of these series. Let me know which one is your favorite, which one is your least favorite, what's on your TBR. All right. And always remember, to keep rising.